千里之行，始于足下。A journey of 1,000 miles begins beneath the feet. We now gather in the Tao to travel the journey together. Welcome to Tao Talks with Derek Lin, where we take a deep dive into the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. I would like to extend a warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining us. I would like to invite you to center your thoughts and direct your attention to this moment in time, to the here and now, to be fully present and mindfully aware as we all ready ourselves for this sacred process in the Tao with one another. This is where we ended our discussion last time. This is the first of the summaries about how people are. They crave excitement, feasting, sightseeing, attending social events. Lao Tzu, being quite different, was one for quiet solitude. He feels weary of all the noise. Now, for us, we can look for a point of moderation where we allocate the appropriate amount of time for social activities balanced with the solitary spiritual pursuits. And you're going to see this as a continuing theme as we explore the rest of this chapter. Most people focus on surplus, excess, and accumulating even more. This is, of course, human nature, not limited by geographical or cultural boundaries. It's the same in ancient times as today. It is the same in the East as it is in the West. The basics have remained unchanged all through history. Having stuff is good, so having more must be better, and having even more is the best. This is why so many people that we see are driven to acquire more and more. There are, of course, a few people who realize that this is folly. They start cutting back to curb the endless acquisitions. They may or may not know about the Tao, but they wish to simplify and minimize their lives. On the other hand, we also know a whole bunch of people who never come to the same realization. So they keep wanting more until they die. So Lao Tzu was different. He presented himself as being the exact opposite. He enjoyed the simple life. It seemed lacking to others, and he knew this. But then he also knew from the Tao that more isn't necessarily better. He reduced the complexity in his life, which to most people seemed like he simply did not have enough. Sort of like my friend. So through this comparison between most people and Lao Tzu, Lao Tzu is reminding us to examine how we relate to the things we own. Are we really using them? Or are we being used by them? Tao cultivators would tend to simplify life by discarding and sharing that which they do not need. They hold on to what they need, but then they share the rest. In this way, they're able to live in abundance without excess. When I talk about this, I'm reminded of a humorous science fiction story about aliens who came to visit the Earth. So before establishing contact with Earth's civilization, they wanted to find out more about that civilization. They sent a probe to seek out intelligent life, to observe them. So they had no idea what intelligent life looked like, but the probe would tell them. The probe came back and reported success to the aliens. It showed the aliens the images it captured on Earth. These images showed many cars on the road. The probe pointed to the cars and said, "These are the natives of this planet. There are many of them. They usually have this boxy shape and four wheels, as you can see. They are very advanced. Each one of them has two-legged creatures as servants." Then the probe showed images of a gas station and a car wash. The probe continued reporting. As you can see, the servants of the natives are responsible for feeding and cleaning their master. Now, as humorous as this story may be, it does make a good point. Are we truly the masters of the things we own, or have we become a servant or even a slave to them? So looking at these rows together, these two represent a simple concept in the Tao about how to live in happiness. The idea is that you don't need excitement, feasting, socializing, or luxuries to live the happy life. All you really need is the Tao. So for most people, they tend to be excessively clever, shrewd, and calculating. That's how people usually are, in ancient times as today, East as well as West. Lao Tzu says, "I alone am not that way," because Lao Tzu said he felt no need to display intelligence, and that made him seem muddled to others. For Tao cultivators, what this suggests for us is that we can also, as we are actively working on ourselves, improving our minds, we can remain humble as Lao Tzu was. Now, realistically speaking, Lao Tzu was a respected teacher, so chances are people did not really see him as muddled. But understand that Lao Tzu is drawing the contrast to get us to think about life, to think about ourselves. That we, as we learn more, as we gain more understanding, we don't need to display that brilliance. We don't need to show off. All of this gives us another way to fill out the fourth row in this table that we're assembling. Most people tend to be excessively harsh and scrutinizing. They keep track of scores. They want to get even. Lao Tzu, Tao cultivators, Tao sages, they feel no need to be so exacting. And this seems obtuse to others because it's not the norm. Now, in drawing our attention to this comparison between most people and Lao Tzu himself, the idea is that we can look at the contrast and find the balance for us. As I mentioned, Lao Tzu was widely respected as a teacher in his time, so it is very unlikely for people to actually describe him as obtuse, as muddled, etc. But the comparison is meant to draw our attention to us. Therefore, Tao cultivators will gain clarity on all aspects of life, to have clarity, but without the excessive scrutiny. And what about keeping track of scores? It is better to let bygones be bygones. They say living well is the best revenge. There's no need to get on a path of vengeance. There is a need to live the best life that you can for yourself. So now we have enough to assemble yet another row in the table. And in fact, we're now in a position to complete the table. We start out with most people. They use their intelligence to target fame and fortune, along with all the other stuff we talked about, competition and contention, power, prestige, all that stuff. Lao Tzu was not the same. Lao Tzu said he did not engage in the rat race. It seemed stubborn and lowly to other people that he would not do that, but that's what he was comfortable with. There was simply no need. So in that contrast, where can you and I find ourselves living our lives? Here's my suggestion. Tao cultivators focus on the Tao and attain the appropriate level for themselves without having to scheme. Tao cultivators understand that water seeks its own level. If you elevate yourself within, your worldly profile will rise accordingly. Therefore, there is no need to scheme for anything. Our meeting has come to an end, but the journey continues on. Until next time, may the Tao fill you with peace and happiness.